Welcome to Sex and the Solo Girl. Join your host, her inner circle, and expert guests weekly for chats about dating, secure attachment, the solo lifestyle, doing relationships differently, and of course, sex. And here's your host, Janice Formichella.
Today we are talking about stripping with an actual stripper who is also, hold on to your seats, everyone, another ex-Mormon. Not just that, another sexually empowered female badass ex-Mormon. Welcome to Sex and the Solo Girl, Elana.
Hello, thank you so much for having me.
Oh, I cannot wait to get into this, and I cannot wait to hear all about this gorgeous, sparkly room that you are in.
Thank you.
Oh, I'm so glad to be doing this. And so Elana and I met because she was a presenter at a conference that I recently helped to sponsor called Shameless Sexuality. And it was hosted and founded by my friend, Janice Selby. Yes, another Janice. And we got to hear from all sorts of cool speakers about their sexual journeys. A lot of them had journeys recovering from religious trauma. And I was absolutely tickled pink when Elana came on to give her talk, which was about her journey out of Mormonism and how it landed her in a career. It landed her in a career as a stripper. I was just loving life that day. And everybody go and look up in the feed a little bit because another Shameless Sexuality presenter, Dr. Daryl Ray, was also on a recent episode called Masturbation. It was definitely the conference to be in. Hello again.
Hello. I'm super excited to talk about all of this. I love talking about this.
Yeah, I can tell. You had a great presentation and everyone just thought that you were adorable. And she's talking about stripping, but in the presentation, she was wearing a pioneer dress. Do you want to just briefly tell us what your costume choice was about that day?
Yeah, so I started off wearing this like prairie woman pioneer dress that I found it at the thrift store. I was so excited when I found it.
Oh, funny. I was thinking you must have ordered that.
No, it's an authentic pioneer dress that someone left at the thrift store. I like to think it's got a whole story of its own. Like if it could talk, like what did it go through? It's actually really cute.
No, it is. In fact, I actually do lots of performing and I'm a fashion history enthusiast, if not scholar. I used to do blogging on Victorian fashion history for like 3 years. And so I've actually bought a bunch of dresses just like that and not for cheap either. It was.
And then I stripped out of that and I did this whole performance and I stripped down to a thong and nipple pasties.
So, and Elana was juxtaposing the pioneer dress with the very sexy, sultry bedroom that she was presenting in, which she is also sitting in for our chat with her today. Everybody, please make sure that you're following me on Instagram so you can see what I can see right now.
So this is it's not just a pretty background. It's actually, I do this virtual strip club live stream on my OnlyFans. So it's a whole interactive thing that my fans can do with me so they can see me dance and they can tip me to get me to strip and they can buy me a drink and they can go over here to the VIP room and we can get naughty in the VIP room. So it's a whole immersive, interactive experience.
What a cool idea. And we're going to link to your OnlyFans as well. The wheels are spinning in my head. Before we get into it though, please, can you tell me about your whips back there? Your whips and paddles back there.
I would love to. Those are also part of the tip goals. They can tip me to either have me spank myself or I can spank them.
Everybody, pay attention to this space because I'm doing an interview in a couple weeks called Spanking.
Right. Oh, I love.
Yeah. All right. Let's get into you and stripping and incorporating the energy of a stripper into your life. We're going to talk about the art of the strip tease. We're going to talk about how it impacted Elana's confidence, all sorts of cool stuff. So first, how did a little Mormon girl from Texas end up in this fully immersive stripper career and lifestyle. It's so juicy. Tell me everything. Well,
Okay.
almost everything.
In a nutshell. And there's so much to my story that I'm going to do my best to sum it up. But yeah, so I grew up in Southeast Texas, deep in a podunk little town. And my dad was a Mormon convert, but my mom was a generational Mormon. So I was born as a 5th generation Mormon. Yeah, I never questioned the church. I was like all in it, thought it was completely true. I thought that I loved it. I said that I loved it, you know. And I was like hardcore. I wanted to go on a mission. I was like the worst or the best Mormon you'd ever meet, which now I say is the worst. You know, I was bearing my testimony to everybody. I was the kid who would bring an extra Book of Mormon in my backpack so I could try to give it away to other kids at school.
Yeah, that's pretty devout.
I bore my testimony every fast and testimony meeting from the time I was 9 until I was like in my mid-20s.
Wow. Everybody, again, we're going to come on and just talk about our Mormon experiences, and we'll talk about some of the terminology that she's using.
Oh, yeah.
So basically every month we'd have the opportunity to get up in front of our congregations and give our feelings / testimony about the church. And a lot of people don't get up every single month. Actually, most people probably don't eat every month. And so she was letting her fundamentalist flag fly, shall we say?
Yes, perfect. So I'm not even sure how I knew what a stripper was. I think I must have found out through through a movie or probably some kid making a stupid joke at school or something. I was so sheltered and naive. It's kind of hard to explain. I didn't know what the word vagina was until I was 17. I didn't know what the word masturbate was until I was 17. Had no clue, thought that masturbation, and this is kind of a shout out to your past episode with Dr. Daryl Ray, I thought it was an addiction and like a sin, and they teach you that. It's not
this is Mormon doctrine. And
yeah. They teach you that sex outside of marriage is a sin next to murder, and that masturbation is an addiction. And that's a whole other story. So I remember saying I would do anything for a job except for stripping. I would never, ever be a stripper. That was the line. And I worked a lot of different jobs, and I kept running into various forms of either misogyny, you know, not getting paid what my male coworkers were getting paid for doing the same work, all the way to getting sexually harassed, and there was sexual assault in these various vanilla jobs. I worked a lot of different jobs. I worked at
Did you say vanilla jobs?
That's what I call them. Yeah, vanilla.
Okay, I never really thought of it that way. That's funny.
normal jobs, I guess.
Okay.
Non-stripper, non-sex industry jobs. To give a little idea, I worked as a machinist, and I worked at Home Depot. I worked as a trail guide for this horseback riding stable on the beach. I loved it, but was getting a lot of unwanted attention from male coworkers and didn't know what to do about that and had no idea what to do about that.
Okay.
So the last job I had, I'd gotten through the church's employment program, and they had me working as a caregiver for this autistic boy. And I was going to this home, and the dad of the boy started being really creepy, and it escalated to him grabbing my butt. And
a nice Mormon man.
Yeah, a very nice Mormon man. And then I talked to my visiting teacher about this incident, and she's like, "Wait, where are you working? That guy is a registered sex offender." And the church knew about this and sent me to work in his home and told me nothing about it.
Okay.
And then said because I was over 18, they legally didn't have to say anything. But they knew they did something shady because right after that, they shut down their employment program. their words were, if something were to happen, and they kind of mentioned that there was an incident where something happened. Basically, they told me my story back to me without saying, this is because of you, but they shut down the program because of what had happened with me.
Okay.
And around that time, I was losing my faith in the church too, and that definitely didn't help. So I left the church and I needed a job, and I was just like, well, stripping's an option now.
Okay, so this is similar to my story in some ways. I actually thought about getting into stripping and did work at a strip club, but as a cocktail waitress. And I love the industry. I actually would do it still today. So I too was just like, I lost my faith. I decided I need to get out. I was actually having mental health issues, and almost like night and day, I just immediately was comfortable with these things, like almost instantly. Like I moved out of my parents' house. My first flatmate was this bisexual pregnant girl who I had met at my job. I was immediately pro-choice. What do you think in you made you so comfortable so instantly to even entertain this thought?
I hit this fuck it point. Can I cuss on here?
Oh, fuck yes.
Okay. I honestly just was so fed up after working all of these jobs, again, like vanilla jobs, however you want to call that, normal person jobs, and dealing with just massive amounts of harassment and assault and misogyny. And I was just like determined to turn this on its head. And I thought, if this is going to keep happening, I'm going to make money off of it. Which is kind of terrible, but I was just really fed up, and I was fed up. Like, I just learned around that time that masturbation is a normal, healthy bodily function. And I was so angry at the years of just absolute grief and turmoil that I'd been through with the church telling me that it was an addiction and there was something wrong with me. And I just was like, I'm going to make money off of this. So I'm not sure like why I thought that I could be a stripper, but I was just determined to be in the sex industry. And I'd never been to a strip club in my life. At that point, I'd barely even been to a regular bar. And so clueless. So like, imagine this like sweet Mormon girl walking into a strip club going, hi. And this is a funny story that I can sum up if you want, like my first night as a stripper, if you want to hear it.
Yes, please. Thank you. Very much so.
So I'd never been to a strip club. I sat in my car for like 10 minutes, just like watching these burly men pull up in trucks and go into this windowless building. I was terrified, but I was like, I needed money, honestly. I was kind of at this desperation point, which people always make fun of strippers for doing that. It's like, well, why else does anyone get a job, you know?
Yeah, totally.
And so I went in to just get information, and they go, yeah, you're cute. You can work tonight.
Oh my God, cool.
Like, what? And I thought it was going to be like a normal job where you get like 2 weeks of orientation, you know? And I was like, well, will you train me? Like, I'm clueless. I walked in and I saw this beautiful woman hanging upside down on the pole, and I'd never seen anything like that. I didn't even know that was physically possible. And I was like, I was just blown away. I was like, does she have wings? Does gravity not work up there? Like, what is happening? It was a Friday the 13th, a full moon, and my period had started. Like,
wow.
You can't make this stuff up. And so they're like, yeah, we'll train you. It's easy. Just go out there and take your clothes off and dance. And I was like, that's not easy, and this doesn't dance. And
wow.
The most dance experience I had was I'd taken ballet as a kid, and I'd been doing this like belly dancing workout video, which was a little bit scandalous too for Mormons.
Oh yeah, very much so.
So I went out there and I didn't even touch the pole. I just did my belly dancing workout video.
That is so cute. And then what? The rest is history. You said you fell in love with it and you just decided to run with it.
Yeah, I made $60 that night, but I was stoked because that was like more money in like the amount of time that I worked, and I saw the potential. And I remembered hearing these girls crying about how they only made $100 that night. And I was like, and now I kind of, I'm like, yeah, all right, only $100. I understand it now. But at the time I was like, wait, what? And they're sad about that? How much money can you make in this industry? And I kept going back. I went back the next day. I didn't realize how physically intense it was. And then the third day, I was so sore I couldn't get off the couch. And I just kept going back. I was finally able to do a pull-up for the first time in my life. I finally started touching the pole. And now I love it. You can't get me off of it.
All right. Well, this is a great, thank you for that. And like I keep on saying, I'm really excited to dig deeper into our stories together. And we're going to get that on the calendar before we wrap or today. So you learned how to do a pull-up, you learned to use the pole, you fell in love with the industry. Tell us how, and you had already been through quite a lot, and leaving the church makes you second guess so many things about yourself and your future. You have indicated that stripping had a big impact on your self-confidence. How did it help you get in touch with yourself? From what I understand, if I'm hearing you right, it was the first time ever. Like this was complete self-discovery for you.
Yeah. I think at that point, I'd never actually looked at all of my anatomy.
Okay. Yeah, definitely. These things were brand new for me when I left as well. I had never even really touched it before.
There's a Mormon pamphlet somewhere that says, "Don't admire yourself in the mirror." And that one really stuck with me and really traumatized me quite a bit. And so, I'd gotten to the point where I like barely even looked in the mirror. I just felt so much shame. Or if I did look in the mirror, it was to beat myself up, But now I'm in this industry where I'm having to look in the mirror because people are going to be looking at me, right? And I started off working in a topless only club, and then I moved to Portland, and the clubs out here are fully nude, and so people are looking at me everywhere, and I realized I'd never looked at my own genitals. And so I remember there was this other stripper who pulled me aside, and she was amazing, and she was like making $1,000 every night, and she would just come in and immediately go to VIP and had men lined up for her. And she pulled me aside and she's like, "You're going to be my protege." I'm just like, "Yes, mistress."
Okay. Ooh.
And she's like, "Stop saying sorry." And I'm like, "I'm sorry."
Yeah, I've fallen back into the habit recently for a couple reasons, but especially for the women listening, this is going to be a game changer for you and how you relate to people and how you relate to yourself. Watch the number of times a day you say sorry. Ask yourself why, and make a goal to maybe almost completely stop. Never apologize, never explain is one of my mottos.
She's like, "You've said sorry like 10,000 times since you've been here." This was when I first started. She's like, you've only been here like 3 times, and I've already heard you say sorry so much. And of course I'm like, "I'm sorry." She's like, "No, stop that." And so changing that language and not having to apologize for existing really started to change my mindset. The other strippers took me under their wings because, apparently they have wings to climb the pole. And just were like teaching me to stand up straight. So Mormons, you have to fold your arms. You're taught, fold your arms, bow your head, close your eyes. Yeah. And so I just would constantly walk around school and at work before stripping with my arms folded, because I'd just been so trained to have like this position, And so then I go on stage and I'm still kind of hunched over, and they're like, "You need to stand up, like stand up straight." And they like pushed me up against the pole. I'm like, "Okay, put your head here." So this is a good exercise too. If you are struggling with confidence, just stand up against a wall or a door or something and make sure that the back of your head is touching the door and try to get your shoulder blades back there too, and just open yourself up. So like I started having, my mindset was changing, and then the way I was moving my body started changing too. And it was so impactful on my overall confidence.
Being confident in your body is so important for how we present ourselves in the world. And I know, yeah, for me as well, I am very sure of myself physically. And I have been told by people that when I walk into a room, like they do instantly notice me. And also that, you know, there's just something about me. It's just because I'm comfortable in my own skin. Well, maybe some other reasons too. I think I'm also nice and smile at people. But that, again, if you're feeling unsure about yourself, maybe stuck in your relationship, stuck in dating, building your self-confidence and your comfort with your body might be actually where you should focus before you try and invite other people into your life. This was how many years? You said 12 years ago?
Mm-hmm.
And you just made an entire career of it.
I did. Yeah. I just wanted like some grocery money. And I kind of thought that it was just like a placeholder job, you know, and then I started to see these women who've had lifelong careers. I just watched another YouTube video of this 75-year-old dominatrix, and she was fabulous. And I'm seeing these women in their 40s and 50s who are still dancing, who are amazing and still making money. So like it can be a career. It doesn't have to be just this job that you do at 18 and then you're done, you know?
Mm-hmm. And we are going to talk a little later about professional stripping and maybe considering if this might be right for you. I appreciate you telling us so much about your story. Well, before we go on, what is your favorite thing about, I guess, your current career in stripping?
I love being on stage and performing and seeing that audience reaction. And when I time it right with the music and I do this really badass trick and I'm naked and I hear the audience and I see them react and they're like, wow, yes, you know, I love that. It feeds my ego, I'll be honest. And
There's nothing wrong with that. I think a little dash of adoration in our lives is a perfectly healthy thing to get off on.
And I guess I also really love, I love encouraging sexuality and masturbation because it was so wrong for so long.
Yeah, same. I have some kinks that involve masturbation and some fantasies as well. How would you say, I know that you said you had a surprising answer to this. How would you say that stripping or embodying the energy of a stripper, how has this way of life impacted your relationships, romantic relationships?
So I hear a lot the stereotype of, you know, you'll never find a good man, you'll never have a relationship, like blah, blah, blah.
Or assumptions that people, unconscious assumptions that probably a lot of the people listening to this would even make about the potential for someone in stripping to attract a certain type of man or a certain type of relationship. I mean, let's be honest with ourselves.
I was actually married at the time that I started stripping, and it was a terrible marriage. I don't want to get into that right now. I will in the next episode. But he was very abusive. And I tried to leave him for years, but I didn't have the confidence. I didn't have a backbone. I didn't know how to stand up for myself. And so at the club, I noticed very quickly there were two types of guys. There were the respectful guys who, you know, just kind of automatically respected your boundaries. I didn't even have to tell them. And then there were the guys who wouldn't take no for an answer. And then the bouncers would come over and rescue me. And the bouncers actually took me aside and they were like, you have got to learn how to stand up for yourself. If you're going to survive this industry, you've got to learn to stand up for yourself. You have to learn how to say no and enforce it. And so I started getting practice, and like, you know, it's kind of graphic, I guess, but I started getting a lot of practice at standing up for myself. And so at the club, we call the guys who can't respect you, we call them creepers. and they don't get to stay in the club.
Sure, fair enough.
And the others are just customers, and not every customer is a creeper. And I realized I was married to a creeper.
Mm-hmm.
I can laugh about it now, but and so I'd been getting all of this practice at standing up to that type of guy, and I finally stood up to him and got away from him and divorced him. And some people will be like, "Oh, look, see, stripping causes divorces." It's like, that marriage never should have even happened in the first place. But thank you, Mormonism, for saying that I needed to get married to cure my sex addiction.
Yeah, well, that's really the problem, actually, is that they coerce such young kids really into getting married. And
yeah. And so I started learning confidence and learning self-respect and standing up for myself and setting boundaries and enforcing them, and all of these wonderful, healthy behaviors that Mormonism just condemns. I took some time to just be single for a while, and I really enjoyed it. And then I wasn't really looking for, I would have taken it if it happened, but I wasn't really looking for a long-term relationship. I just wanted to go have fun. And so almost 10 years ago, I met this man, and I'm already blushing just talking about him. And he was wonderful and respectful, and we just started dating, and we never stopped. And now he edits my OnlyFans videos for me, and
very cool.
I call him my penis prop, and we have a wonderful, healthy relationship. And
wait, why is he a penis prop?
for my porn.
Oh, he puts his penis in your porn as a prop.
That's what I call him.
Okay, but he shows his penis but not his face.
He does, yeah. He shows it all.
His face as well.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. I was like, you are objectifying him? Just joking. That's adorable. I was actually just talking with my partner the other day about starting to sugar again, and he was like, you should totally go for it. And these are wonderful, wonderful men. I can tell Elena's with a good guy. And again, stereotypes or unconscious assumptions that people make about these things and about what makes a good guy and a good girl a good girl. Before we take a quick commercial break, and everyone do stay tuned, because when we come back, we are going to be talking about the art of the strip tease, incorporating strip tease into your life, using it in the bedroom, the energy of a stripper, a bunch of really fun things. First, you already told us you're on OnlyFans. So where can we find your OnlyFans, and where else online do you want my listeners to go and find you?
Yeah, so if you go to elanalove.com, that will take you to my link tree. And then that takes you to all of my links, my Instagram. I have almost every social media out there. I'm most active on Instagram and OnlyFans. I have two OnlyFans pages. One is free to join and pay to play, and the other is subscription. So it's just kind of how you want to interact with me.
To go over, say hi to her on Instagram, please. Everyone, if you're listening to this show, go and tell my guests and my friends, because I actually mostly have friends on, Elena. I don't know if you knew, I don't often do guests. And go and please tell them that you thought they were awesome, that you heard them here, and then you can find her OnlyFans through that. A very quick commercial break, and then we're coming back and talking about the art of the striptease. What is your attachment style? Do you consider yourself anxious, avoidant? Does it maybe change depending on the circumstances? Would you like to become securely attached and learn how to show up as the best version of yourself in all of your relationships? My program, Becoming Securely Attached, is a 3-month intensive designed to help you look at your current patterns and triggers, pinpoint what will most help you work on them, and then intentionally develop an action plan to create new ways of doing things. And I will be there every step of the way. Ooh, and guess what? I just started doing free first sessions to give you a look at how I work and determine if we are a good fit for each other. You can book one using the link in the show notes or just by heading over to janiceformichella.com. Remember, I am always available on Instagram if you want to chat. I look forward to talking with you about becoming securely attached. Welcome back, everyone. Thanks for giving my ad a little listen. Please be in touch with me if you want to talk about my coaching services. Elana, this is so much fun. I love hanging out with you also in this sexy room. Look at us, Mormon girls gone bad. That is going to be the name of the next episode that we are going to record. Everybody watching Sex and the Solo Girl, because I'm more on fire about this episode than usual. So what would you like to impart upon my listeners about the art of the striptease?
Yeah, so I am actually an artist. So this room was originally, before COVID, it was my art studio for all my crafty stuff. Now all my crafty stuff is over there. You can't see it. I do a lot of different types of art. I actually had an Etsy shop for a little bit, and I do drawings. I made fairy wings. Anyway, so I'm familiar with actual art. And with stripping, it's not just throw your clothes off, and I've learned this, and it can be if that's what you want. But so a striptease is actually a burlesque performance. And what burlesque is it's an exaggeration of something. A striptease is an exaggeration of that moment when you're taking your clothes off to get spicy. You're not taking your clothes off just to change clothes. It's not taking your clothes off to take a shower. It's that erotic moment where you're about to go have sex either with yourself or with a partner or multiple partners, and that exciting moment where you get naked. And that can be chills just talking about it. Like, I love that. I love that moment, and so many people just kind of throw their clothes off and go at it and wham, bam, thank you, ma'am, And so just taking your time to elongate that and to tease that moment and bringing the artistic side into it of like, how can you play around with your clothes? So when I'm on stage, I like to play around with my outfit too. I'll take my thong off and I'll turn it around as like a whip. And
that's cute.
Or I'll like turn it into handcuffs and handcuff myself around the pole and like do different fun little things with it. Sometimes I'll wrap it around a customer's neck and pull them in.
I'm loving this. Great ideas. I am taking note.
Yeah. And so like just being playful with it, and that really helps to turn your body on more of like, you're not just boom, you're naked. You're having that moment and you're enjoying that moment of like, oh, something's about to happen, and teasing yourself more and teasing your partner.
Okay, wonderful. So let's talk about, really bringing this into the bedroom. I am going to assume that maybe this is not a regular part of everyone's foreplay who's listening. So can you say just a little bit more about that?
I do want to say stripping is not pole dancing, although...
Oh, thank you. What is the difference? Like, what differentiation would you like to make about that?
Yeah, so... nothing wrong with going to a pole studio if that's what you want to do. But the pole studios took the dance that strippers made up and they put names to the moves and then decided what the right way to do the moves are. Whereas with stripping, there's no specific moves. There's not supposed to be. It's how does your body feel like moving? And everyone's body is going to look different. So you and I can do the exact same move and it's going to look different on me and it's going to look different on you. So something that you do that looks really flattering for you is going to look weird on me, because we have different bodies. Go figure. So I'm bringing that up because I think that a lot of times people think they need a pole to do a strip tease, but you can do a strip tease anywhere. You can do it in your kitchen. You can do it on your bed. You can do it in the bathroom. You know, like you don't need a pole to do a strip tease, but bringing a pole into it can be a lot of fun, and it's a really great workout. I just want people.
Don't let not having a pole hold you back from getting comfortable with a good old fashioned strip tease.
Yeah, and it can be really fun to hang upside down and take your bra off while you're upside down. But you don't have to do that. You can hang upside down off of your bed or your couch.
Sure. You know? But also being in the moment, if you're doing this with a partner, being in the moment with your partner and going about this unraveling or this setting up the moment of what is not just what is about to come, but what is actually already happening. And that is that you are taking off your clothes, you are creating a really wonderful mood for you and your partner, and you're getting comfortable with your body, but also you're really spoiling this other person by like this kind of a gift to be, you know, so invested in making it a beautiful experience for the two of you that you're taking your time with your clothes. You are teasing a little bit. You're not just creating a mood, letting your partner know how, you know, important and intimate and special this experience that you're sharing with them is.
Yeah. And like you said, you're giving your partner a gift and a show and letting them see all of you. So many times people are scared of showing their bodies. You know, we all have scars and things that we don't like about our bodies, right? And so standing up there on a stage, or like if you've got something, a little stool or something that you can safely stand on, and just kind of like being like, yes, I'm a goddess or a god, or, you know, and worship me, look at me fully. And when we're laying down and going at it, you don't really get to see your partner either. And so you're giving them that moment to see them in ways that they don't, to see you in ways that they don't normally get to see you, you know. And you can do what I love about combining stripping with pole dancing is you get to view the human body in a really interesting way that you normally wouldn't be able to see.
This is a good place to stop and talk maybe a little bit about body confidence. So I will say, I like what Elana just said about, you know, standing up and saying, you know, this is who I am. I will suggest to people struggling with body confidence, look at yourself in the mirror. If you have a full length mirror, I make myself stand in front of mine every day and just look at my naked body. I think though, what could really hold someone back from incorporating strip tease into their foreplay is body confidence and not even wanting to be in front of your own partner, you know, fully naked, standing up. Is there anything that you can suggest to people who think that this is too not accessible because the thought of it makes them uncomfortable? Where do we start with body image and getting to the point where we can feel not just comfortable, but maybe feel really energized about this?
Yeah, I have a few suggestions. Definitely standing in front of a mirror, which is really hard. Do admire yourself in the mirror. And so when I started stripping, I did not think that I was pretty, but I'd had enough people tell me I was pretty that I was like, well, I guess other people think I am. I don't see it, but if they see it and they want to tip me for it, then great. And so I had to do a lot of work and look in the mirror. And so I've started this practice where I look in the mirror and I'll name, it depends on the day. Like some days I'm not feeling good. And so I'm like, okay, one thing. What is one thing that I like about myself, that I genuinely like? I don't have to like my scars. I don't have to like my cellulite, you know, but I like my hair. And
she's got gray hair. I've always wanted long hair and it just never really works. So yeah, it's gorgeous. You are right.
And, you know, there's no shame in using costumes. So like get a wig. I want pink hair, but I don't want to go through the hassle of dyeing my hair and maintaining that. I'm like, I just need to get a wig someday. And it can be really fun. Like, do your makeup, put some beautiful jewelry on. And if not that you need those things, to be pretty, but when I'm all decked out in full glamour and I have my jewelry on, it's easy to look in the mirror and be like, damn, you know? But if I've had like a long day of doing yard work and picking up dog shit and I'm in my sweatpants and dirty tank top, you know, I'm not going to feel as beautiful when I look in the mirror as when
this is a tip I give a lot is do make an effort to do things that make you feel more physically confident. Even the fact that you're putting in the effort is, you know, a form of self-care, self-love, and it can create a snowball effect when you're just simply doing it for yourself. And then find what makes you feel physically more confident and then do it every day. A basic tip, some people don't like that I give this, but for especially the females out there, I am a huge believer in eyelash extensions. I'm actually getting mine put back in tomorrow. You will be amazed at what it does for your confidence. I highly recommend it. Yes, it is an investment, but it is absolutely worth it. Also, when you have eyelash extensions, you don't find that you feel that you need to wear as much makeup all the time. So please just go and try it. And a couple other things I will say, if you're struggling with body confidence in the bedroom, maybe doing a full-on strip tease in front of your partner with them sitting down and you walking around might be a little confronting for you. So first, if you don't currently wear lingerie for you and your partner and get dressed up in lingerie in the anticipation of a sexual encounter, buy a few pieces of lingerie that you feel that make you feel sexy and that you feel are flattering to your body, and just start wearing lingerie. You will be amazed at how much more comfortable with your body it will allow you to be, and it could be like a catalyst for, you know, eventually a strip tease. So I would say go get some lingerie. You can get tons of really cute stuff just on Amazon. And also when stripping with in front of your partner, you can actually have them sitting and you come up fairly close to their body and take off your clothes in front of them and just sit there in front of them, maybe hold each other before moving any farther. You don't necessarily need to be way in front of them showing everything off if that feels scary to you. You can start with just having it be closer physically. Somehow that makes it more comfortable for people.
Yeah, you're not so up on a pedestal. And with the using costume pieces too, you can show the naughty bits without having to show everything. I've seen a lot of strippers who wear little corsets and they never take their corset off. Okay. And, you know, or like you can wear fishnet tights and you can
those are good for confidence too. Everyone looks good in fishnets.
Love fishnet tights. You can wear gloves, like, so you can cover up the places that you don't love. You don't have to love the places you don't love, you know, and you can still make them attractive to you and yourself. I'm not saying you have to do this, but I used to do this because I was embarrassed about some scars on my legs. And so I would wear fishnet tights all the time. And now I'm like, whatever, I'll show my legs. But it helped with my confidence a lot. And then you've just made a place that you normally look at and you go, now you're looking at it and going, oh, wow, I love that part of me now.
And yeah, some people might be thinking right now, oh, these are superficial things. You know, that's not how you build confidence. And actually, no, these are practical things that you can do. Get eyelash extensions and tell me that you don't feel better. I'm sorry. I mean, it's also just taking care of your body, you know, drinking water, exercising, all of these things. Yeah. Tell me that when you work out, you don't start feeling better. I mean, this is just common sense, people.
I'm going to give an example. I feel so much more confident when I put a crown on.
She's got a gorgeous crown
instantly on. When I put a crown on, I'm just like, yes, thank you, I'm the queen, yes.
Gorgeous. And yes, you are. Wow. Love, love, love. Yeah. And see, for me, even though I'm just at home, I'm wearing, full jewelry, have a top on that I feel sexy in. And I do this even when I'm just around the house. We'll get, completely dressed up. And I have to also put this out there, and some people could push back on this. If you have a partner that you're seeing regularly, get done up for them, no matter if you're just hanging out in the middle of the week. My partner's in the other room working. I still make sure that I'm done up for him every single time. And I just think it creates a good vibe. I think that it makes an impression on them. It's sexy. Don't take your relationships for granted. I'll leave it at that for now. So before we wrap up, we have talked about incorporating stripping into the bedroom. We've talked about some practical beauty tips, some of which Elana actually picked up in the stripping industry. I want to talk about embodying the energy of a stripper in our daily life. But first, let's stop and just talk about professional stripping. And if someone listening is feeling kind of turned on and curious about exploring this themselves, which I would highly recommend to anybody, how do you know if it's right for you? And can you give maybe 1 or 2 tips to next steps as far as exploring it goes?
Yeah. I would say, like, if you're interested in it, you don't have to go as hardcore as I did. Maybe go as a customer first.
Okay, cool. Good tip.
And just go in. I actually work with a dancer who did that. She and her husband came in, and I was working at the time, and she was curious, and they tipped me, and I went and sat with them. Make sure you bring dollar bills, and you tip the dancers. That's how you get our attention, money. That's also how you show us love. And just go have fun. If you've got a friend who wants to go with you, then go with a friend. If not, it's totally fine to go by yourself. We don't bite unless you like that. Mm-hmm. And so make sure you tip the dancers. It depends on the club, like how much is appropriate, but at least $1 per song. And you don't have to tip dancers. But if you're sitting at the stage, you want to be making sure you're tipping. And just just see how you feel about it. You can talk to the dancers, see if they like, what they have to say about the club, get a feel for it. Every club is different. So, there's some place where I live in Portland is known as the strip club capital.
Yeah, I was going to say she's 13 years into this and going hard and going strong. And it is meant to it's considered to be maybe the most competitive place in the country to be a stripper.
It is, yeah. So there's a lot of different clubs to choose from, and they're all like completely different. Just choose one that feels right for you. So there's like the big fancy classy clubs, that look like they're made out of gold and diamonds. And then there's like the dive bars. I'm not going to say one is better than the other. I've made some amazing money in the dive bars, and I've made great money in the fancy clubs. And it's just a completely different vibe. And it's kind of, what are you comfortable with? I work at a club now that I would say is kind of in the middle of that. And I feel like that's my happy place. Mm-hmm. And just, see what they do. See if it's something you want to try. Do learn how to stand up for yourself. Don't wait until you're in there to learn how to say no and enforce it. And if you have someone you're comfortable with, you could maybe role play. Go watch the strippers, watch how they dance. You don't need to take a pole dancing class first, but you can if you want to.
Everybody listen to that. They've built an entire industry around pole dancing, which is lovely. And there's a lot of good things that can come of it. I think it could be great for your confidence, but you don't need to be taking these classes to get into the industry.
Yeah, and it's going to teach you a very different way of dancing. And I would actually encourage you to wait until, if you want to try stripping, just go on stage and have your fun, and then wait a little bit to take the pole dancing class, because they're going to teach you, well, this is the Superman, and this is I don't know the names to all. And people are like, do you know how to do the blah, blah, blah? I'm like, I don't know what it is.
Oh my goodness. That must actually be kind of annoying.
And I'm just like, I can do this though. And so I'm saying that so that you can learn how your body moves and what feels good for you, instead of being told you have to do it this way. These are the positions and you can't deviate. You're supposed to be more free and relaxed and what feels sexy for you. And then, go audition and get some pleaser heels. I recommend pleasers. And
talk to us about pleaser heels.
I'll show them off. I took the time to put these heels.
Sexy.
These are made specifically for stripping.
Okay.
So they're a lot more comfortable than regular heels. These are made for dancing. And once I put these on, I can't go back to normal heels now because they're so uncomfortable.
Very cool. If you decide that you are going to pursue a little strip club action, please, 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 please let us know. We're both over on Instagram. Thank you once again. Let's end with, so probably not everyone listening is going to go and audition to be a stripper, but I think there is a lot to be said about the stripper energy, the burlesque energy, the courtesan energy. There's everything to be said about being physically confident. They're embodying some of these things or these attitudes or these practices can really create for quite a juicy existence and a lot of sensuality with your partner, yes, and with yourself. So what are some ways that you can really incorporate the stripper energy into your daily life without even leaving your home, perhaps, or without even setting foot in a strip club? Like, how do you get this level of vibration, this sexy vibration in your life?
Yeah, kind of like what we talked about earlier of like the little things of, if you're just home hanging out, do some makeup. It doesn't have to be 3 hours of makeup, but put some fun jewelry on. Find ways to bring in sensuality, either with yourself or with your partner or both. Like if you just have a day by yourself, put something sexy on and do your chores. Sometimes I'll put some lingerie on and do vacuuming just because it makes me feel pretty. Allow your body throughout the day to, if you feel like just dancing and just moving and doing something silly or something sexy or something sensual, just, be aware of your audience. You don't want to be doing this if you're on the bus or something.
I don't know.
Although I have seen some fun videos of people standing up and pole dancing around the
I have to say, I lived in New York for a little while, and once in a while, people would come in there and do dancing on the pole and do all these crazy things. I get where they were going, but I was scared. I thought I was going to get kicked or something. It actually made me very uncomfortable when people would do that.
Yeah, so do be aware of your surroundings. You don't want to make people uncomfortable or do something in front of the wrong audience, But just give yourself permission to do sexy, sensual things throughout the day. And it doesn't have to lead to sex every single time. Just allow yourself to wear something pretty. And, then you walk past the mirror and you're like, oh, hey, I have a crown on.
Yes, confidence builds on itself. And it's not just for leaving the house. It's maybe especially for when you're at home. Mm-hmm. You want to take the energy that you already have out into the world with you.
I really want to encourage people to learn how to twerk. And I do a bit of coaching. So if you're interested in learning how to dance like a stripper or becoming a stripper or anything, I also offer coaching. So you can reach out to me.
Cool.
And I want people to learn how to twerk because of what it does for your nervous system, for your whole body. It's all in your back and it helps to loosen up your back. My back used to be so stiff. And it was just like a 2x4. Like I could not move my spine. And then through loosening up my spine and learning how to move, especially that low back, that movement, it releases a lot of tension that gets built up there. And it allows you to just, I'm not sure how to explain it, to just be more open, like in general, just with your energy, with your partner, with yourself, to just not be so tense and high strung all the time. You can just, I don't know. I think it's important.
Twerking. All right. I love this tip.
You know how to twerk, Janice?
No, I do not.
I would love to teach you.
Now?
Oh, if you want to learn now, we can.
I was actually just
Maybe for
thinking
the
about
next
it the
one.
other day. Okay, we could explore this. We could explore this. I'm making a note. Okay, and oh, I'm like blushing thinking about taking a twerking lesson. And also, I hope you'll go over by the pole so I can take a picture.
Oh, sure. Yeah, I got
Okay. Yeah, I'll do it. You want to? Yeah, go ahead. Everybody, she's got a pole. She's dressed very sexy as well. Hello, Dolly. Oh, this is fantastic. Oh, thank you. Oh, this is so cool. That was fun. And also so I guess a couple other tips. First of all, do you think that there is an attitude, like a stripper attitude?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, it's definitely very confident. It's very playful. So when I'm at work, regardless of the day that I've had or whatever else is going on in my life, and someone asks me, oh, I'm already kind of out of breath from that. When someone asks me how I'm doing, I'm always great. I'm always fantastic. I'm always wonderful. I'm never okay or fine.
Yeah, all right.
Or bad, or, and that's not to say never talk about what's actually going on. But I've had days where I've been completely miserable, especially after I first left the church. And then I'd go to the strip club and I'd be telling people I'm fantastic, even though I woke up with a panic attack that morning. And then I'm like, I'm fantastic. And after a while, it actually started to change my own energy. And I started to actually feel a lot better. So just like, it's bubbly, it's fun, it's playful, it's sexy and confident.
And it sometimes can be a little fake it before you make it when it comes to things like positive language and how you present yourself, but it does become a habit. Same with smiling at people, looking people in the eye. These are things that you have to kind of train yourself to do. But again, they make a really big difference.
And you don't take no shit.
What?
And you don't take no shit.
Absolutely. In fact, one of my kind of themes for the year is don't fuck with me. And it's here on my whiteboard. I'm looking right at it. And I am embodying that. I can tell you that right now. We talked a bit about finding things that make you feel physically confident and do them. And so along those lines, find out really, really, really what that means for you specifically. I also almost always am in full lipstick. My eyelashes, I'm known for my cowboy boots. I don't really wear heels, but I have 10 different pairs of actual cowboy boots. Get some sort of like trademark. Find out what this thing is that makes you really feel sexy, and then really lean into it. When I started wearing cowboy boots, I just found that I generally had this, I don't know, I just felt hot when I was walking down the street. I wear them with everything, dresses, booty shorts. And so I just started collecting them because I just loved how I felt in them. So like I already said, find what that is for you and then just go crazy. Oh, what's yours? Nails?
Bling, like anything sparkly. So this is actually bling light for me. I usually have like necklaces and all the sparkle things. And I love having my nails done. I don't know if you can see my nails.
There we go. Oh yeah. Oh, cool. Those are great nails. And see, for me, I do my own, but this color is what I go through this particular bottle just over and over and over again. I have to keep rebuying it because I don't know, even in the middle of summer, I wear this like maroon color. I get lots of comments on it. I just think it's like kind of generally it's sultry. So,
yeah.
Well, that was fun as well. I love having girl talk with girly girls.
Yes.
We are going to come back and do another episode called Mormon Girls Gone Bad. But for today, we have talked about Elena's, a little bit about Elena's Mormon story, if you will, and how it got her to into stripping. We talked about her relationship, how it's built her self-confidence up, the art of the striptease, using striptease as foreplay, professional stripping, incorporating or embodying the energy of a stripper. What a fun episode.
This was a lot of fun. Thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome. What is the website again?
It's elanalove.com, ELAYNALOVE.
You can find all of her links, including her OnlyFans accounts, at elanalove.com. Well, and we will see you back here very soon. I hope that everybody has a really sexy rest of your day. Bye.
Mwah.
Thank you for listening to Sex and the Solo Girl with Janice Formichella, the podcast for those who want to add more flavor to their relationships with themselves and others. If you liked today's episode, make sure to head over to Instagram and let her know. See you next week.